So, thank you for joining me today on the Ryan Black Show. The first one was awesome, very brief, very quick. This one I'm not sure on length, but we have a main topic. You want to know that topic? Look at the jersey. It's the Portland Trail Blazers. What they have done is unbelievable. They literally took themselves out of playoff contention and have reboot. Shipped Gerald Wallace away, get rid of Camby, and have done nothing good at all except for firing Nate McMillan. That's a positive step. And claiming J.J. Hickson off waivers. The guy's come in, has dropped 20 points at 2 games so far in his Blazers career, and this is a guy I think Portland is going to have a shot at keeping. He's a good backup to LaMarcus. He's a good big body, a guy that you like coming in off the bench, a good, backup. He's not going to be a starter, but you don't need him to be. And the only thing you've got to worry about is if another team is going to snatch him up for free agency. I'm not sure they're going to. I hope they don't, but I think that they're safe right now. I'm pretty happy that they did make that move, but I'm just disappointed with the whole Blazers organization in general. It really looks like to me that we're going to hear some stunning news in a couple of weeks that Paul Allen is selling the team. There's already been multiple rumors and lots of different reports that Paul Allen is going to sell the Portland Trail Blazers, and this is the time to do it. If you're a buyer, you want to bring in people who are your own. So you have no general manager in place. You've got no head coach, very flexible salary cap. Those are 3 and salary cap and roster. So, you've got 4 things right there that are crucial when you're buying a team. So I would really expect that he's going to sell. A lot of people are, saying, no, he's not. No, it's not going to happen. Well, I think it is because he doesn't want to go through another rebuilding process. Face it, you're rebuilding. I don't even know why you're on the floor trying to win games right now. I've never been a guy who said tank till now. I'm a Pirates fan, so I've seen plenty of tanks in my life. This is the time where, if you're the Blazers, you need to tank. You have a top 4, you've got a pick from New Jersey, that if they don't land a top 3 spot, you get that pick. Plus, you've got your pick, which is going to be a lottery pick. If you don't want to draft, by the way, in a phenomenal deep draft, a lot of good players that you can really turn your organization around with a couple of lottery picks like that. So that's good. Plus, picks are going to be at a premium in this draft. You're not going to see teams selling picks away because the draft pool is so deep. So that's something else that you've got to consider if you're the Portland Trail Blazers. A lot of people talking about when Brandon Roy made his return. He went and watched a game when it was Jamal Crawford's birthday. That was about a month, I think, ago. I know it's weird that I'm bringing that up now, but I think it's important. I think it shows that, Brandon is starting that long process of coming back into the game. Not as a player. And there's been reports. He's allegedly been quoted in saying he's going to come back. Let me tell you what. If he comes back and is not a Blazer, I'll be stunned. If he comes back and walks on a floor again and plays basketball competitively, I'll be stunned. Doctors have said if he doesn't play, he might not be able to walk. He's got kids, a beautiful wife. Why would you risk something like that just for this kind of thing? So there's another point that I want to make on the whole Blazers thing and Brandon Roy. A lot of people say he's going to come back. I don't see him coming back really ever. But you never know. He might not. Just depends. So Brandon Roy, a lot of Blazer fans like to talk about him. Glorious player, one of the best the organization has had. And people say, and I'm one of them, that we should retire his jersey. He's not an all-time great NBA player, but he's one of the all-time great Blazers. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, he could have had a very, very good career here in Portland. He's so loved, and I think you'll see him in a coaching job or maybe a front office position down the road. Because he's part of this organization, and it'd be good to get him in here because I think it'd be able to ease fans a little better. I think you'd see fans be able to breathe a little more, seeing a familiar face, because look at this roster. There's not familiar faces around. If people think Hasheem Habib or Tabit or however the heck you say his name is going to be a part of this team, you're wrong. If Portland brings Habib back, they're the dumbest team ever, honestly, because he might be one of the worst players in the NBA. I remember when he came out in the draft, people were putting him up there as a top 5 pick, which he was. And I'm sitting there thinking, why? DeJuan Blair is just as good and better, and look what he's doing. He's having a good year preparing to take over from Tim Duncan in San Antonio, and they got him in the 2nd round. And Portland passed on him twice for Dante Cunningham. It was one of those times they passed on him. For Dante Cunningham and a guy who's overseas and will probably never see a Blazer uniform in his life. So it repulses me that we passed on DeJuan Blair. I think that got to go up there as a bust, as a mistake the Blazers made in the draft. But I can live and learn. I can forget, which I've done. So moving on back to the current state of the roster. Flexibility is key. The question a lot of people are talking about, there's 2 things. The bad, awful play of Raymond Felton. Yes, under Nate McMillan, look what he's done under head coach Caleb Canales. He has played so much better. You know why? Because Caleb likes to make changes. He's not set in stone. He will change things up for players, and that's Nate. You look at Nate. Nate never adapted his system for players. He expected the players to adapt the system for him, and that's just not smart basketball. Because you're sitting here saying a group of players who are used to playing this way, who can play in certain formations and positions and sets, to, hey, you've got to play this system and play my way, when not all players are going to respond that way. So I'm not a huge fan of that whole thing. But I'm glad they fired Nate. I don't think Caleb Canales is going to be your head coach of the Blazers. People have said, oh, Portland might try to bring him back. Really? Come on now. That would just be dumb, wouldn't it? I think it'd be awful. But what do I know? I'm just a 19-year-old who loves to sit here and talk about sports. So this was kind of my whole show today, was a little bit of Blazer talk. I don't want these shows to go on for that long, so I can try to get more views and viewers. But flexibility, key, and again, back to my whole beginning point, the Blazers are going to sell. Paul Allen, in my opinion, is getting ready to sell this organization. This has been the 2nd edition of the Ryan Black Show. Leave me comments. Tell me what you think. If you have ideas for a show, shoot them at me. Who knows? I might be able to throw something together and do a really cool show on your idea. And hey, if you're a sports fan that I know who's watching this and is going to throw a comment up on YouTube or on my Facebook page, if you want to be a guest, let me know. Maybe I can set up a day where you can come in and join me for an extended Ryan Black Show. We do have that extended NFL draft show that I'm actually working on, started gathering all the data and stuff together. So that's coming up. I'll probably have that up here in the next week and a half or so, as the draft gets ever closer to 26. I'm so excited. So this has been the 2nd edition of the Ryan Black Show. Again, let peace be the journey. Have a good day. Good night.